Maelyn Jarmon's name rang out around the world in early 2019, starting with her blind audition in the 16th season of The Voice, at which point she performed a stunning rendition of Sting's Fields of Gold, thereby turning all 4 chairs. It was evident to most who watched this episode that Jarmon was a contender for the ultimate prize of the show, since she'd accomplished a very impressive feat during her first outing. Among Kelly Clarkson, Bebe Rexha, John Legend, and Blake Shelton, all of whom were elated to offer Maelyn a chance to work with them, she ultimately chose Team Legend and set up the journey of a lifetime, one that would later prove to be her career's highest point thus far. In the battle rounds, Maelyn faced off against Savannah Brister singing When We Were Young by Adele. Her performance was so powerful that she won the face-off without a hitch, securing her place in the next round, in which she sang Mad World by Tears for Fears and once again emerged victorious, demonstrating her consistency and versatility across multiple genres and in very different circumstances. As she progressed to the live playoffs, Maelyn upped the ante even further, exactly as expected from someone hoping to take the trophy home. She sang Fallingwater by Maggie Rogers, and her performance was met with high praise from both the judges and the audience. She sang The Scientist by Coldplay in the top 13, a performance that showcased her ability to convey deep emotion through her unique voice. Those with very high expectations for the young singer weren't at all disappointed, and it was clear that she belonged in the next round. Maelyn next performed a haunting rendition of Stay by Rihanna and Mickey Echo in the top 8, as well as a surprising take on Yesterday by the Beatles in a duet with Rod Stokes, further cementing her place as a frontrunner in the competition. She also took part in a duet with her coach John Legend, singing a heartwarming rendition of Nat King Cole's Unforgettable. In her finale, Jarmon sang an even gentler version of Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen, Wait for You, which she composed and wrote herself, and lastly, Sarah's own Angel. Each performance was met with standing ovations and high praise from the judges, who at more than one point seemed certain about knowing who exactly would win. Her rendition of Hallelujah was particularly memorable, showcasing incredible vocal prowess and profound emotional depth that moved the entire building, with some of the listeners letting out tears of joy upon hearing her. Most fans believed that it was exactly this performance that ultimately secured the win for the singing superstar. Maelyn was crowned the winner of The Voice Season 16 on the 21st of May 2019, marking the first victory for a member of Team Legend. Jarmon's achievement served as perfect proof of her exceptional talent, hard work, and the strong bond she had formed with her coach, John Legend. Since her win, Maelyn has continued to make music and perform with more passion than ever. She's remained true to her artistic vision, creating tunes that resonate with her fans and showcase her unique voice. Her journey through The Voice was nothing short of remarkable, with the entire world having borne witness to the unrepeatable spectacles that she had gifted to the crowds. So who really is Maelyn Jarmon? Born under the sign of Sagittarius on the 8th of December 1992 in Frisco, Texas, USA, Maelyn seems to have always been destined for greatness on the grand stage. Her journey into performing began under challenging circumstances that no future musician should ever have to suffer through, rendering her chances of being an outstanding singer close to non-existent. The trouble started almost as soon as she became 2 years old, as a chronic ear infection began to cause severe pain and irritation. The local hospital staff did their best to prevent further reoccurrences of this debilitating condition, eventually inserting specialized tubes in her ear canals to ensure the success of their treatment. While this plan worked against the infections and stopped them altogether, it also exerted more than bearable pressure on the infant's eardrums, causing severe damage to both of them. After subsequent procedures aimed at repairing the extremely sensitive auditory parts, Jarmon was left with complete deafness in her right ear and only 80% hearing in the left. Her future as a singer looked rather grim from there on out, and nobody expected her to take that path in life. However, it turned out that as she grew, nothing piqued her interest more than attempting to replicate the various tunes she fancied, in spite of having an extreme disadvantage when compared to her healthy-eared peers. Beyond the shadow of a doubt, hearing is a fundamental aspect of a singer's career. It's through their ears that singers can perceive pitch, tone, rhythm, and other nuances of sound that are essential for creating music. A hearing impairment, such as Maelyn Jarmon has, could have significant implications for a future in the music industry. First of all, pitch perception is crucial for singers as it allows them to match their voice to the correct notes, and maintain the melody of a song. For someone with a hearing impairment, distinguishing between different pitches can be extremely challenging, which could lead to performing off-key, which is a major obstacle for any singer aiming for a professional career. Secondly, hearing loss can impact a singer's sense of rhythm and timing, as it's the pattern of sound in time and is what gives music its structure and flow. A singer with hearing loss might struggle to keep time with the music, which could lead to a disjointed and less harmonious performance. On top of that, damaged hearing can affect a singer's vocal control, as they rely on auditory feedback to control the volume, pitch, and tone of their voice. Without perceiving this crucial information in real time, it's close to impossible to modulate one's voice effectively, which could result in a performance that lacks dynamic range and expressiveness. Hearing loss can also make it challenging for singers to blend their voice with other sounds, which is particularly important when singing in a group or with accompaniment, when the performer needs to harmonize their voice with other musical elements. Jarmon's disadvantage could make it difficult to hear these other elements clearly, which could lead to a performance that sounds out of sync or discordant. Finally, being unable to hear properly can also have psychological impacts. Singing is a form of self-expression, and struggling to communicate musically can lead to feelings of frustration and inadequacy. It also takes confidence to perform for massive crowds and let out one's feelings through their musical expression, and self-esteem is greatly damaged by physical lacks. This could affect a singer's performance anxiety, which is crucial during any performance. In the case of Maelyn Jarmon, it was pretty much a given that she should never even make an attempt at singing. However, she adapted and found ways to compensate for her hearing loss, primarily by learning to rely more on the vibrations and physical sensations of singing, which allowed her to feel the music in a way that others might not. She also trained herself to be more visually attentive, reading lips and observing visual cues to understand her musical environment better. More determined than ever, Jarmon took up voice lessons to hone her talent when 13 years old, undergoing the grueling task of performing just as well as any other talent near her age, while struggling to even perceive the world in the same way as a healthy child. What most don't know about her is that she first auditioned for American Idol at only 16, but moved on to other endeavors after she failed to even pass the first round. Her staunchest supporters have ridiculed the judges of that series for not having recognized such undeniable talent early on. It all seems to have worked out in the end, as Jarmon's professional singing career started when she was 17. She moved to New York City to perform on Broadway, marking a significant milestone in her early life. Since she not only sang but also danced throughout the performances, her time on Broadway proved to have been instrumental in shaping who she has become prior to participating in The Voice, and most fans don't doubt that this is precisely what allowed her to breeze through the competition and come out victorious. Her father Steve and mother Rebecca Jarmon are both Caucasian Christians who proved instrumental in the success of their daughter, as they never once questioned her plans to become a great singer, in spite of her setbacks. Maelyn is apparently their only child, giving all the more reason to their all-around supportive sentiment. She failed to make sufficient money to fund her career pursuits early on, but her parents were there every step of the way to provide all the necessary financial assistance, allowing her to move to New York City and get even more elaborate training as a musician. After Maelyn stopped singing for a while in 2013, they still stuck by her side and kept believing that she could one day achieve her dreams. They turned out to be right 6 years later, when she was finally given the long-deserved opportunity to perform for the world's best. All 4 judges immediately recognized the very same spark in her, which led them to argue with one another over who would have her on their team. Having won The Voice, Maelyn received her greatest career boost in the way of a $100,000 prize, as well as an exclusive record deal with Universal Music Group. That said, the contract comes with serious obligations, forcing the signing artist to strictly follow a complex set of rules. Not many artists find themselves capable of practicing such discipline before they've even become a household name, meaning that not every winner of The Voice will make full use of what they receive. However, Maelyn seems to be focused on developing her first original album. She does have one out, though, a compilation of all her performances in The Voice, which were obviously so original that they sound like entirely different music when compared to the original pieces that make it up. Her talent continues to be recognized throughout the world, as she is frequently offered highly esteemed gigs. One example is her 9th of November 2022 National Football League halftime rendition of "I'll Be There, Rise Up," in honor of breast cancer survivors, which she proudly posted about on her Instagram page. Jarmon expressed deep gratitude for being allowed to dedicate her voice to such an inspiring minority, calling herself very lucky to have performed in front of a full stadium and for such a noble cause. Her most recent post can be found on Facebook, as she updated her picture across most social media profiles on the 7th of January 2023. Maelyn has her own website, which doesn't feature anything except her social media links and a message form as of mid-2023, although it's expected to one day hold her first original album, which the star is seemingly still working on. She also has a Cameo.com page on which users can pay a small fee to message her and request a video of her singing whatever they prefer, which is often used for customized birthday messages that her most devoted fans would appreciate more than any other gift. Lastly, it's also possible that Jarmon is busy tending to her personal life, as she has been in a relationship with the musician Johnny Morell since 2014. They even became engaged 5 years later, and it's since been a subject of speculation whether the two have married, are still waiting to tie the knot, or have maybe even split up. Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpick these videos, which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.